completely. Hey folks, this is Waylon. Sorry we've had a couple videos fail. I'm talking with two very big men about how to save the bees. The way I'm framing this conversation, which may be news to you two, is how to save the bees, how each reader or viewer watching can save the bees this holiday season specifically. Something we focus on is conscious consumerism. I don't know if folks are having a hard time viewing it, just let me know in the comments. Otherwise, we're just going to go for it. So, you know, we can change the world through our consumer habits. We can go to Amazon, we can buy plastic made in China, and we can, you know, kind of be mindless about the power of our hard-earned dollar, or we can spend a little more sometimes and buy less and help the bees. So how do your products, respectively, and what are they, help the bees? So, Ace is
okay, so I'm good. I'm ready to go. First of all, I just wanted to say I'm here today. My wife is supposed to be here. She
specifically asked for her.
I know you did. She lost her voice, and so I'm filling in.
Okay.
But we are cauliflowers. We make a natural alternative to plastic wrap.
So cauliflowers. Yeah. So this is plastic wrap, except it's not plastic.
Exactly. It's organic hemp and cotton fabric infused with coconut oil, tree resin, and beeswax.
And is this legal in all 50 states?
Yes, it is. Yeah, and this one that you just showed is 100% plant-based. So that's our vegan version.
What are these made?
And this is beeswax.
Oh.
And then this is all plant-based.
So we have a great article. I don't know if anyone is online, but our sound is cutting in and out. I'm sorry to hear that. I think Facebook is having some trouble, or maybe I am, or Wi-Fi. Yeah, actually, that's how he talks.
It's got a rhythm.
Staccato. Yeah. But so please do let us know in the comments if we can put the vegan beekeeper article on Elephant Journal if Lindsay's on or someone's on.
Naomi.
That would be great. Is it Naomi or Naomi? One of life's great questions.
I think it's like tomato, either way, tomato or tomato.
All right. So let's call the whole thing off. So cauliflower. So I hate plastic. I love the bees. So I can buy cauliflowers and help both. Do these actually help bees in some way?
Yeah. So for us, a lot of people don't realize, but if you don't support your local beekeeper, you're actually local beekeepers like Tim are really important to support and help. Yeah. The reason being is if you're buying corporate, if you're buying corporate honey, if you're buying corporate wax, and things like that, you don't actually know where it's coming from. And
do you want to touch on that corporate honey?
Yeah. Well,
corporate wax.
It's kind of a big conversation. So
we're here.
I know. Yeah. So you know, for a long time, honey has been turned into a cheap commodity, and there's really a constellation of reasons why. And it kind of started after World War II with the ammunitions turning to fertilizers and kind of commoditizing a lot of our different agriculture.
So what you're referring to is something I've written about a bunch, which is during World War II, the chemical poisoning by manufacturing companies after World War II, they needed something to do with their products.
And the infrastructure was all set up.
And they went into fertilizer. So we literally took poison and applied it to our food. That's right. Yeah.
And pretty much since about that time, we've been involved with the over-sweetening of the world. We started with nitrates to the soils, and then we've been doing it with sugar to our cells, our children, our family members. So the vast majority of honey has, at the least, has really been beaten to death with heat and filtration. And cutting. Yeah.
Cutting it with water?
No, with other sweeteners.
It's true. In some places, you know, so 3 out of every 4 pounds of honey that's consumed in this country comes from overseas. And there's nothing per se wrong with honey from another country.
Sure.
It's that we don't have any oversight in the world of honey as to what is honey, what's good honey, what's adulterated honey, what's been messed with.
I see why you're saying it's a good conversation. It's like key things we can just touch on, which is that maybe nothing wrong with overseas honey if it's not heated and not cut and not whatever else. But there's power to local honey, which is it helps you with your allergies. It actually connects you with your environment.
Well, I think the biggest thing is that it really connects with your environment and your local. The science about pollen from your area versus pollen from, upper Volta. So pollen is a protein source that we as humans can't really absorb. So when we eat pollen, it acts as an immunostimulant and causes a reaction. And the science is really ambivalent, that in fact it just is local pollen that is good for you. That's mostly been a marketing ploy to get you to buy large-scale manufactured honey that have packaging plants in our area and state. They get called local. Oh, wow. So in fact, any really good honey, if you know that it is good honey, and that's the issue, is helpful. But going back to what you were talking about, so buying from a local source is great because it gets you connected with your community, it gets you connected with local beekeepers. But in particular, wax, getting wax from small producers, wax can collect so many contaminants. And when you're buying wax where you don't know what the source is, the studies that have been done on wax is that the vast majority of it is filled with contaminants, with pesticides.
So just in the way you don't want to drink polluted water, which half of America is suffering from.
All the time.
You want your wax to be a good source.
Right, you really do. Not just for the great products that ASA makes for putting in foods, but think about all the wax that's used in cosmetics. Well, it's white, because But imagine putting, contaminated products onto your skin, your lips, your membranes, your eyes, your food. It's a really big deal. So when you're getting wax from sources that they're using wax that is just coming from honey supers. And what that means is that wax has only been in the world from anywhere from 2 weeks to 6 weeks. So that its ability to have collected contaminants is way, way minimum.
So is your wax from a good source?
Yeah, I source from all the libraries.
Really?
One of my biggest waxes here.
From what's his name?
We buy. Actually, I buy all of Tim's wax from him. So literally, I buy him out every year when he's producing it. I buy almost all. I always keep a little on the side for
other good.
Wax.
My private wax colleagues.
So, and and literally these here are from Tim's wax. So
nice.
I can keep
Thank you.
which one's great.
Tim's beeswax.
Tim's beeswax. Yes.
Okay. Just want to make sure. That sounds weird. So I did a video with Tim years ago. It was actually our first sort of viral hit. It was so nice. Usually when you share climate change or how to save the bees or compostable, whatever, getting rid of plastic, people don't read it. When you share astrology or like a cute video of a kid jumping in a puddle, it goes viral. So we did this 3-minute video about saving the bees, and it went kind of viral. So let's put that in the comments if we have. Naomi, she clarified how to say it. So let's get back to Paul Claus real quick. So if I'm vegan, that's why I want to read that vegan beekeeper article. I support life as a vegan, and if I can support local beekeepers who are treating their bees mindfully, because bees can be killed by commercial operations in vast numbers.
Sure.
Then I want to support local honey and bees. I consider that okay as a vegan, not commercial honey. So I'll actually just be Mr. Portlandia in restaurants and say, "Is your honey?" If they say, "Do you want honey with whatever?" I'll say, "Is it commercial or local?" And they always lie to me and say local. I say, "Cool, I'm in."
Yeah, and we, the reason we made the plant-based version is since we started the company, it was one of those questions that people asked. It took me 2 years to come up with this recipe. Nothing truly can replace beeswax.
So you love that product?
I do. I absolutely love it. This is
the beeswax, and it actually wraps and it clings and it keeps your food fresh.
Longer, actually. It actually will help you reduce your food waste, which is another big issue with climate change and stuff like that.
Food waste is epic.
It's huge.
So much food.
So much.
It's like a third of all food grown or something.
I'll give you an idea. If you took celery, celery stalks and you wrapped them in a cotton cloth, put them in your crisper drawer, we've had them last for 3 weeks, be able to pull them out and still be fresh.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's a real testament. A lot of people just throw.
And the crisper drawer helps as well.
Yes,
He's actually wrapped his children and put them in the crisper drawer. And
come out when they're babies. And they come out and they still have a bad attitude 3 weeks later because of thanks to color calls.
There you go.
Great. That was a weird joke, but we went.
Hey, you gotta have fun.
Yeah.
It's tin. Yeah.
And then, so what is this made out of again? The
Okay, so it is Candia wax, soy wax, tree resin, coconut oil, jojoba oil, and a little bit of sunflower.
Wow. I want to like throw this in a bath and take a bath with it.
Yeah, it's quite a mix. Like I said, it took me about 2 years to come up with that formula.
It works.
Yeah.
How do you come up with that? You researched? How do you research that?
You start researching like replacements for beeswax and things like that, and trying to get an idea. And I started really just playing with stuff. My wife jokingly calls me the mix master because I play with all these different mixes and stuff like that.
Right.
And this, yeah, like I said, 2 years to come up with that, and yeah, just playing with different mixes and a little bit of this, a little less of that, a little more of this, a little less of that.
Right.
Then that didn't work. Yeah, it did. And then
Yeah.
you get to the point where you're like, okay, that didn't work at all.
Well, this is wonderful because plastic wrap, plastic generally. Why is plastic bad? I think everyone knows out there, but we still use tons of plastic. We have to when we buy stuff at the grocery store. Half of what we buy is in plastic. But when we can avoid it, why is plastic something to avoid?
It's permanent. It lasts forever. The thing is, and when you're going into stores, there's certain in your life. There's certain ways you can't avoid plastic. Like
Yeah.
there's bike riders that wear helmets
Yeah.
that are made of plastic, and you know what? I support them wearing helmets.
Right.
You can't get away with it. What we really want to focus on is that single-use plastic, right? Which is where you go to the produce aisle, and you're like, oh, I'm going to get lettuce. Well, let me grab one of these plastic bags and throw my head of lettuce in there. It's not necessary.
Yeah.
You're going to wash the lettuce anyways. You don't need to add that additional plastic anymore. You could just bring a cloth along and go ahead and fold it, put your lettuce in there.
Yeah, one tip is
right.
you have to be careful, but one tip is I bring my own bags.
Right.
But if I don't have my own bag, you can go to the produce section in one place in Alfalfa is where I shop often. Grab a paper bag, then go to the bulk aisle and then fill it. And you have to be careful so you don't forget. But you can also bring your own cloth bags.
Exactly.
Yeah. Or a mason jar for olives or whatever.
It's become really customized. I mean, I remember 1976 is when the first plastic bags came out. I was living in Israel at the time.
Wow.
And I remember it came out in 1976, and I looked at this blue plastic bag, and I said, oh my God, what a great product. And this is going to be the death of us.
Oh.
And that was 30 years ago. And
because it's so convenient, light, it works.
That's right.
It might tear or whatever, then you throw it away.
Right, and people don't think about what the impact of plastic is. I mean, there's micro trash in our bloodstream. There's plastic everywhere.
Like everyone.
Everywhere. But, you know, building on what you guys were talking about, the
please.
real issue is the single-use plastic.
Yeah.
And
well, we just had, I want to go back to you, but so we're making, we're super anti-to-go cups. To-go cups, a lot of people don't realize paper to-go cups are plastic lined. You're drinking hot liquid out of plastic, which isn't good. And plastic has tons of additives to make it flexible. So we're making, with Clean Canteen, one of our partners, we're making Clean Canteen mugs, and they have plastic caps. And one of our staff, Lindsay, was saying, oh, that's not great. Let's try to find a metal cap or whatever. And I was like, in the case of something that's going to, ideally, you don't lose it or whatever. You use it for years. I have a way of losing my permanent bottles, so I don't use them.
I'd lose my head if it wasn't attached.
Exactly. But, you know, plastic is great. Like back in the 30s or 40s or 50s, they were using plastic for like furniture or something. It's fine for that kind of use, but it's the single use where you're putting toxins out into the world forever. So back to you. Sorry.
Well, you know, I mean, just building on all that, and if you look at our food source, I mean, you walk into a grocery store or any store, and everything is in plastic, and the world has become so much more single-use oriented. And I think some of the biggest culprits of all this is our quote-unquote natural foods product. I mean, you can get these wonderful, tasteful little pieces of you know, chocolates and God knows what, fruit, whatever, and they're all in the single source. And people are kind of
single use.
The single use, and they're kind of, I don't know what the right word is, you know, conned isn't exactly the right word, but people are coerced into getting them because one, you go, oh, this is a great natural product, it's made from blah, 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 and it's convenient, it's good for my kids, it's good for me, but the piece that's really not being thought about much is that it's plastic, and it's, you know, we really, you know, we got into this problem all of ourselves, and it's up to us to get ourselves out of it.
Yeah.
You
So
know?
this is a great way, and there aren't that
Yes.
many alternatives, and I think you're the only, like, can we, conscious consumerism wise, can we make a point of differentiation between you and other products?
Yes.
How are these maybe preferable?
No. So there
And I'll do
are
the same thing for you.
Yeah. So there are a lot of kind of corporate imitations that are popping up. A lot of them, and I'm sure you see this with honey and stuff. There's a lot of greenwashing and stuff like that, saying, "Hey, we're an environmental product because of this."
Right.
But then you got to start. You as a consumer, you really have to start looking below the level. One of the things that we do, we are certified for sustainability. We also use no plastic in our packaging. It's all post-consumer recycled packaging, which is super important.
This is wax paper.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
wax paper is compostable. Yes.
Yeah.
Just had a discussion about that yesterday.
Yeah. So you could actually compost that.
Love that.
And actually, if you really
So
want
this is
to,
zero waste.
it is zero waste. Yes.
You have to recycle the
Staples. You can recycle the staples as well. Yes.
Go.
But the other thing is, we wanted to give that non-synthetic option. We're also certified by Green America for our sustainability. But another thing that we're really proud of, we're also members of 1% for the Planet.
Yeah, where's that sign go?
Yeah, right here.
Yeah. We love
1%
that.
for the Planet. Clean Canteen, who you're working with, is also a member of 1%.
Yeah.
And we actually do a lot of stuff like that. We really love Clean Canteen and have done some awesome
Yeah,
stuff
they're great.
online.
Yeah.
They're great folks.
Yeah.
And so 1% of all our sales go to environmental nonprofits,
Nice.
which I think is a huge thing.
Yeah. Yeah, Yvon Chouinard, one of the founders of 1%, called it, he's the founder of Patagonia, he called it the earth tax.
Exactly.
Like the cost of doing business
Mhm.
from the earth.
I would love to at some point talk about that, about our tax structure here, and about how I think we should be taxing the companies that are actually using plastics when they could be using alternatives.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think it'd be a great revenue source, and it'd be a wonderful incentive for consumers as well as corporations to consider.
We externalize costs, that's what you're saying.
That's right.
So all these companies that are polluting our rivers or
Absolutely.
leaving plastic in our oceans or in our bloodstreams,
Right.
they don't pay for the cost of disposing the plastic
They
in
really
the proper way, which doesn't exist.
Right. And we need to also look at the bioplastics as well. That's
What's
one of the, so bioplastics
Like
are
compostable
plastics.
like
Right.
industrially
Yes.
compostable.
Right. Yes. Because as they're finding now, some aren't actually being proven as compostable.
Oh,
So they're actually going through tests because they're able to mark that it's commercially compostable, but they actually do consist of some plastics, which is kind of crazy.
wait, actual plastic? It's not just corn or whatever.
No, there is.
We hate them
material.
generally. We
Yeah.
prefer them over plastic in the way that I
Right.
prefer Darth Vader over the Emperor.
Right.
We have an article going back like 10 years that was titled, PLA or compostable, whatever, Trojan horse for.
And it's misleading because people see compostable, they think there's a big difference between industrial compost and home compost.
It's very misleading, as well as the cornstarch-based plastics and
Right.
silverware that are sold everywhere and
Yeah.
used everywhere.
Yeah.
I don't know the exact time, but the amount of time that it takes for those things to compostable,
150 years.
way
Well,
past
but they
our
can be
years.
industrially composted. But if they're not, if they're thrown.
Well, they're not- well, we don't have the streams, the mechanisms for collecting. And
So generally,
yeah.
all this gets complicated, but generally plastic is bad.
Yeah.
PLA, anything single use is bad. Bring your own. There's fantastic companies. We worked with, I bring a mug to Farmers Market.
mug, silverware.
What do I do to
Yeah.
get my mug?
You come to me.
I come to his booth and borrow a mug.
Yeah, just kidding. Tim,
Yeah.
yeah, mugs. Go, yeah.
And if I can't find Tim, once in a while I may root around in the trash. And most people won't do that. But
It's
I
great.
need my coffee and I don't want to destroy the planet. So,
There you go.
so let's talk about Highland honey for a second. What's different about your honey than conventional honey?
Well, so the sad, unfortunate truth is that most people, unless you've grown up in a beekeeping family or friends of keep bees, have no idea what real honey tastes like. Honey that has not been adulterated in any way through heat or filtration.
What is adulterated?
It means it's been changed in
Right.
some way from its original form. So bees, for whatever freakish reason, have created this perfect product that lasts for thousands and thousands of years. They pulled honey out of the tombs of the pharaohs. That's 5,000 to 7,000
That's still
years
good.
old. Still perfectly fine.
You could still put it in your.
Still eating. Carter, our famous archaeologist, was eating honey
Wow.
the Valley of the Queens.
Wow.
That was 6,000 to 7,000 years old. So most people have no idea what real honey does taste like.
So you have pretty good shelf life there.
So I've got a shelf life that's going to certainly outlast the three of us. That's for sure. You know, but more importantly, because it hasn't been heated or filtered in any way. And again, it's really consuming because all honey will have the exact same label. It'll say unheated, unfiltered, raw, whatever, raw, local.
None
all
of these words are certified.
No, they're not. They're kind of like the word natural. Right. The word natural in the 80s meant better than something else.
Right.
But really what those words now mean, particularly in the honey world, is, hi, you have got a very nice wallet or purse. I would like to get your money.
Yes.
They don't mean
That's
anything
the key point.
at all.
So raw, natural, these mean nothing.
They mean absolutely
Organic
nothing.
means something.
Oil is
certification.
Organic means something, and you know we could talk about how that's been changed too.
Yeah.
But
that's another. We've had a conversation with Kiss the Ground and regenerative ag folks, but
yeah. So those words are really just misdirectors that are really about marketing. But honey that has not been manipulated anyway, when you eat it, it's got this whole profundity of flavor and taste that will just make you stop and give you a moment of propose. Whether that's my honey or honey from, you know, Australia, New Zealand, Rwanda, you know, if it's honey that has not been manipulated in any way, it's exquisite, you know. But the question is, as consumers, take it to the bank that 98% of all honey that is being sold out there has been manipulated in some way. Mm. And the biggest way that it has been manipulated is through heat. All honey wants to crystallize. It's a natural process of honey that as soon as it starts cooling, with few exceptions, is going to form crystals.
Is that good or bad?
The crystals are absolutely fine, but one of the things that's gone on is that people have been convinced or been taught that honey that's got crystals in it is somehow bad.
Gone bad, yeah.
Gone bad. So what?
You want honey to be like horrible, like
horrible.
But that's wrong.
That's a perfectly fine use of a great product, but it's no longer really honey.
It means it's been heated.
It means it's been heated.
And then when it's heated, it loses like what, 90%?
Well, it loses a huge amount of its nutritive value, but more importantly, it also loses its taste. And so you're just having this incredible sweet thing. And unless you're, you know, think sugar is the fifth food group.
Yeah.
Which unfortunately,
most of us do.
Most people have been turned into complete sugar fools. That's why honey has been allowed to go down this road of superheating, of filtration, of no transparency. And
but to me, it still tastes good when it's sweet. To me, this is more like a fine wine. It has a lot more flavor. But to me, what's more important is that this is way healthier. It has all this.
It's way healthier. It's got all the great nutrients. It's lost all of it. So honey has a lot of different health domains, right?
And when it's heated, it loses the health.
It loses not all of it, but most of it, and many of it.
Yeah.
You know, so honey's got all these different health domains, right? Because it's a product that goes bad. You know, it's acidic, it's antimicrobial, it's antifungal. So when you heat it, it loses some of that, but not all.
And this is
you know,
is that the gesture?
Yeah, because of the beeswax.
Because of the beeswax that are in it.
Quality.
That's right.
And to segue, does this have all the same properties?
Not 100%.
Yeah. So honey is
beeswax. Yeah, great. This is natural preservative. The plant base is good. We with the coconut oil with hemp base and hemp being mildew resistant naturally, it actually makes a really good base. But with the coconut oil and the beeswax in this, it does.
It's certainly.
So we're looking at the angle's a little tough.
Yeah, it's certainly fortified in a way different.
So this is the vegan one, and this is the bee-friendly one.
Yeah.
And as a vegan, I'm down with the bee-friendly one more. I mean, both are great.
I mean, people draw their lines in the sand at different places that have importance for them, and we want to.
Well, I want to support bees. Without bees, there's not going to be life.
That's right. That's right.
Basically, so
and then
but I don't want to support commercial bee stuff because what do commercial big time bee operations? I mean, even driving the trucks around when you're a small operation, what does that do to bees?
Well, so bees.
I feel like I just pressed you.
No. Well, can I hop in here? There's a big difference between driving your hives a couple miles to get to another place that you know is going to be safe and less pesticide stuff.
You don't know.
You don't know.
Yeah.
But now there's a big difference between doing that and driving them from Florida to California into the almond.
And what are they feeding the bees with in the truck too?
Well, driving trucks by themselves are not really they're a symptom of the issue. The issue is they're then going into monocrops.
Right.
Our entire agricultural system has been designed around large sections of monocrops, where we have a single crop, whether it's almonds or oranges or rice or
so we
grass,
truck the bees to California to do their magic with all the almonds, and then they get trucked back or something.
And the reason why that's become important is that we have destroyed all the natural land around it. 40, 50 years ago, it used to be much more common that you would have 3, 4, 5, 10, 20 acres of crops. It was a single crop, and then around it was wild forage. And in that wild forage would attract all kinds of other native bees. One thing that's really important to remember is that Apis mellifera, the honeybee, is new to this country. We were brought here by our European settlers, right? So prior to that, there were enough bees around based on land to pollinate everything that was needed. But because we have changed our landscape to such a huge degree, and that we've really done our best to turn everything into monoculture and created poisons to kill every kind of insect, the good ones along with the pernicious ones for plants, we have become dependent upon an artificial system. And this artificial system is to bring large amounts of bees into these relatively sick environments in order to pollinate our crops. So our food source has become completely dependent upon this new species of bees that we've brought to this country because we've changed our land mass to such a large degree.
And it makes the bees sick as well.
It makes the bees sick. Well, how well could you live on just eating a single product for months and months and months?
Like nachos, say.
Yeah,
or
like nachos.
We only let you eat tofu.
That's all you
for
get is
a
tofu.
month straight.
That's right.
Oh.
Lunch, dinner,
Kill me
breakfast,
now.
snacks, just tofu.
Yeah, just go.
And then next week we're gonna go. Okay, you're gonna have nothing but tortillas.
No.
Right? Like you can eat tortillas for every single meal,
right.
and that's what they're doing to the bees when they're taking these huge facilities. And not only that, so you're forced to eat one type of pollen.
During college, I went about a semester only eating Pizza Hut.
Pizza Hut.
I went for carrots and peanut butter once for like 2 months.
Well, that sounds kind of
Better.
healthy.
Better.
Pizza Hut had a freshman 15 effect on me.
It was a different college.
Yeah.
What can I tell you? But no, it is all that. It's part of the whole system. And certainly honey and the proliferation of bad honey and misdirection honey is really an underbelly of this entire pollinator collapse.
Misdirection honey?
The misdirection, natural, raw, unheated, unfiltered. 3 out of every 4 pounds comes from
I
overseas.
feel like you said all this before, so you don't explain half of it.
No.
And
You're leaving.
Yeah. Oh, just give me an elbow. I mean, Asa does. You should also.
Well, the thing is, you got to remember, it's like if you as the consumer support your local apiary and your local beekeepers.
Apiary is what?
A bee farm,
Right.
Right. You can actually.
That's to you, Buster. Yeah.
So you can actually keep them from having to do these types of trips.
And it's better for you.
It's better for you. So you support your local beekeeper. You buy the local honey. You support local beeswax sourced products,
Right.
or beeswax. You're actually helping that beekeeper from having to do these trips, do these travels, right? And you don't have to do that.
That part,
No,
in the ideal world, it's absolutely true. Except the next part is, again, since there's no oversight, what's called local prep. It's a real misdirection. You walk into a store, you don't know shit about what you see in different honeys. One of them costs X dollars. You don't know bookus about all these different kinds of honeys. They all say local, 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 local. One is X dollars, one is X less 10%, and one is X plus 50%.
You have to get to know the source.
That's right, exactly.
Don't be fooled by labeling.
That's right. Don't be fooled by it.
Yeah.
And if the honey in the jar is viscous, you should
Meaning
liquid, very liquid, right? Very
It's gonna be heated
multi-liquidus, right? You should ask the bee company, why is your honey? How come your honey is liquid like that?
Or why ask? You know it's been heated.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. Well, there are a few kinds of honeys that won't naturally crystallize just like there are a few people with 6 toes that are albinos. Okay, for all intents and purposes, people have 5 toes, they're not wet. There are a few outliers.
I got distracted for 1 second. I feel like we're in a different conversation.
Yes.
What's
No,
happening?
we're talking about we're talking about toes Sunday.
Yeah.
No, we were talking about that with.
Don't draw him into it. You're talking about toes.
I was talking about toes. Let this go on record.
Yeah.
My point was,
Yeah.
with few exception, all honey will crystallize. There are a few kinds of honey that won't, that are almost pure fructose.
But these aren't like rough crystals. This is cream.
No, this
What's
is
up with
cream.
that? How do you
So, my way of supporting
get creamed?
that all honey is going to crystallize.
Yeah.
So creamed honey means that you understand how crystals form, and you get in front of that process to get it to make these very small crystals that have like a texture like peanut butter. Well, there's that.
It's like peanut. It's like thicker than peanut.
That's right. It's texture taste. There's
Yeah.
a great relationship between texture taste. So when you take a great honey from anywhere, whether it's mine or someone else's, and then you go ahead and cream it. Meaning
Who else's honey is great nationally, or that you know of? Who are there any other brands you respect?
No, there are not. There are backyard beekeepers who I beekeepers.
But there's no local brands that are available in various regions. That
Not to my knowledge. To my knowledge, the local brands.
that's how competitive. That's how dark.
That's how dark it is.
Yeah.
Because their compromise was, my God, the honey's going to crystallize hard in a way that's, unseemly
Yeah.
for consumers. So I'm going to heat it just a little bit. I'm going to heat it to 125 degrees.
And they still call it raw.
They call it raw, unheated.
You and I had a little war with our local farmers market.
That's right.
About that issue.
That's right.
Yeah.
Because there is no oversight. Our local farmers markets, as well as anyone, will
I
let
don't want
in
to get you in
anyone.
more trouble.
Well, they'll let in anyone who says their honey is raw. And that's because there is some disagreement. There's huge disagreement about what that word means.
It's huge.
Huge.
Yeah. Yeah. Some people say raw is meaning unheated, and some people say raw means heated.
People heated to less than pasteurizing at 140, 160.
And again, to me,
Right.
the issue around heating honey is you're losing the magical properties.
You really are. You're losing all that magic. It's true.
So on that point, if you don't watch anything else here, this blew my mind. So you don't take a spoonful of honey and put it in your tea.
I don't.
Why?
Well, so I think that paradigm of unlimited access to honey is gone.
Right, but why would you not put your honey into hot liquid?
Well, you do diminish a lot of the honey's value when you heat it.
Yeah,
You
you
know.
melt the good stuff.
That's right. And for me, the analogy is, if you buy a really expensive bottle of wine, do you want to cook with it, or would you rather drink it with the 3 of us? I would rather drink it right now with the 3 of us.
Right, so
Let's-
cooking with it can be fun.
Yeah, can you make a nice stew out of it? Make it not make it? Of course you can.
Right.
But you are not getting the full extent of what the product has to offer.
That's why I like
You
it's
know.
a different subject, but I like drinking scotch or bourbon or whatever straight.
And in
I don't-
public, yeah.
But if it's good quality
That's
stuff, I don't like mix it with sugar.
No need to.
Mix
No
it.
need
I enjoy it.
No, I don't-
bad stuff. I mix it or-
No. I think a really high quality honey, whether it's mine or someone else's, you just eat by yourself. And again, we're
Wait, what
really,
did you say?
you eat it by
If it's bad
itself.
quality,
No, of any good quality
Oh, good.
honey,
I thought
you eat by itself.
I thought you said if it's bad quality honey, you should eat it by yourself.
Yeah, in a dark room with
Yeah.
only 20 watt bulb. Yeah, but,
And that's one of the things that I think that we do with a lot of companies is I actually filter our beeswax.
Right.
So
You do what?
I filter the beeswax.
I don't. What is that?
So basically, when I get the
wax by myself.
right,
Oh, it's not
Yeah.
pre-filtered.
no, it's not pre-filtered
Why is filtering yourself?
because I control the temperature that I actually filter it.
That's right.
So, and that's a huge issue because if you heat the wax too much, you're diminishing the positive properties.
The antimicrobial.
Yes, the antibiotic. Yeah.
Because the wax is going to have,
And I'm sure that large commercial competitors are.
They're doing large batches at a time as quickly as possible.
Wow, so interesting.
and not only
This is-
that,
I
they're
was
using
showing-
wax from any source, which means the old frames out of the brood box, which can be years and years old and that are filled with contaminants. with contaminants. Yeah.
So when I just got back from Paris, you and I were at farmers market, and you asked me what was amazing about my first travel to Paris. And the number one thing, well, three things. One, the bread was amazing. Number two, the coffee was dark roast. It was all amazing. And almost no to-go cups, and except for in American places.
Right. Where you it? Yeah.
Starbucks. Yeah. I really got out there. And then number three, there were bees everywhere. There were more bees than flies. There were bees like France doesn't have Monsanto, and it doesn't poison its everything, and therefore there's bees everywhere. It blew my mind. They're inside of display cases. They're on your muffin you're trying to eat. They don't sting you.
I know. Just hearing you say those words makes me smile.
In the middle of downtown Paris. I'm not talking about the country.
No. Just cities everywhere.
They're everywhere.
Everywhere.
I saw one tourist guy who was so cute because I'd already gone through what he went through.
Right.
Like buy his muffin and his coffee, sit outside, trying to look around at the Notre Dame and enjoy himself. The bees everywhere, all over him. He's like, what's happening? So he comes indoors to try, and they follow him.
They follow him. They like blackcurrant, sculptures, like that. Yeah. So, well, there's a lot of reasons that go on.
So that blew my mind as an American to see that. Wow, bees. We're really poisoning and killing our bees en masse, right?
That's right. That's right. Just to give you an example as a bookend to that. So in Colorado alone, right here, we have over 900 species of bees.
Wow.
And I'll bet you most people, you tell them that, they're like, really?
Yeah.
I keep on hitting this thing. I like it to hit it.
What is this little pouch for?
So this is actually our one of our flat sheets that we folded into a bag to help you get rid of your Ziplocs.
Oh, I see.
So we just went ahead and folded it up just to show you different uses. But
oh, it's like origami kind of.
Exactly. It's just been folded into a simple bag.
I used to learn that while making license plates.
Yeah. This is what I do on work release.
Yeah,
right.
So he's very good at this game. But let me finish up a little bit about. Let me go back to France. And I say this about
900 bees. 900 bees.
Right.
Species.
And people know that. You say that to Americans, like, oh, what really? And most people would say, what's the bee? They'll say, well, a honeybee or a bumblebee, right? They don't realize we walk outside just at the front. Well, not right now since it's November. But during the warm month, and if we sit, I could probably identify, because you have a kind of a mix of some plant life there, that I could introduce you to 8, 12, 15 different bees that are right there.
Wow.
But because we have done our best to turn things into monocrops, we've done our best to control for insects, we've done our best to only have, ornamental trees, there is not the food sources available for bees, all kinds of bees, to be to proliferate, like you were seeing in downtown Paris. And the low-hanging fruit of the bee crisis is to plant forage and pay attention to your consumers. And those are all
plant forage. What does that mean?
Flowers that are good for different kinds of insects.
Edible. Trees with
trees, everything that flowers. There's innumerable resources available.
So you can make your backyard a refuge by not using poison. Flowering, everything should be flowering.
And the thing is, you got to make sure that you're buying your seeds,
good quality
seeds, and bulbs from the right places as well.
Why?
Okay, because a lot of seeds are actually chemically treated.
It's crazy.
Yeah, which a lot of so if you're going to like a box store to buy your starter plants, starter plants, or starter flowers, or bulbs, or things like that. You're actually buying stuff that's already been laced before you can put it in the ground.
So it has the poison in it. So the bees get there, they get drunk with the poison, and they can't find their hive, and then they die.
Yes.
Well, neonicotinoids are something that's used for seed treatments because it allows it to go vascular into the entire plant.
I didn't understand that.
So
I know neonicotinoids. I don't know how to say them. How do people say those in a English-friendly way? Neonics?
Neonics. People say neonics, but neonicotinoids.
Right, but neonics. So that's the actual poison or whatever.
That's the poison. And there's several different kinds of them, but they're used to treat the vast majority of commercially available seeds and tulip bulbs and everything else.
Right.
All these things are treated.
So when you buy a flowering bush at Home Depot, it's got neonics in it.
Right. And so the best way we can help support change, because, myself and people who are way more energetic than I have spent a lot of time working with.
Who is it?
I haven't met them, but they're out there. Okay. Have spent a lot of time at Home Depots and Lowe's and trying to support them having change. And they keep on saying, oh, well, by 2025, we're going to sort of. But if we as consumers say, you know, screw it, I'm going to go out of my steps. I'm going to go out of my way to find bulbs that haven't been treated, to buy plantings and seedlings from alternative sources that have not been treated. It will put a tremendous amount of economic pressure.
So let's review. So buy this stuff
Yeah.
instead of a commercial thing and instead of plastic ceramic. Buy actually raw honey from a source you trust, probably Highland honey.
Thank you.
And support companies who belong to 1% of the planet. Don't buy your plants at a big box store. Go
That's
to
right.
a
Local.
local,
Keywords
like
local.
Harlequin.
Yeah.
Like
Exactly.
Harlequin Gardens, for
It
example.
actually has to be local and get to know them. Like
Yeah,
some of
right.
the people at farmers market are not organic.
Absolutely not. The vast majority of them are. You want to know why? They're not. Or that they're supporting ornamentals? Because they don't want bees to be at the farmer's market on their cut flowers. You want to really mess with your mind? Go down there and look at the flowers next year during summers from spring to fall when people have all kinds of cut flowers. That's right. And they're being done because we have convinced people to be scared of all insects.
And bees